I'm back from my experience in India, and yeah, I feel like I have a much more balanced outlook at the moment. I'm just injecting these borer holes I found under Freyr's bed. This is my borer treatment. I've done this whole board here, so it was having a bit of a outbreak, and I'm just doing this one here. So I'm using a syringe with oliva grass, used car oil mixed with a bit of thinners, so I can suck it into the Libiwaka. Yeah, so I sort of, part of me, I didn't really feel guilty when I was there, but I was, because I know, I just think like, what would I regret not doing if I had to go back and live in Australia and all that sort of stuff. Like ever since I was 17 or 18, I just wanted to go to yoga and, go to India and learn to be a yoga teacher. And so I finally got there at age 42. And yeah, I'd like to do the yoga teacher training there at that ashram. The village there, like, it's like a volunteer village. It was like walking into the group mind. Like, it was an amazing feeling. I felt like I just walked into the group mind, like, and just how things, you ask, like your prayers, your questions, like things just happen, people just appear. I met a lady that's an author of a book called Autism, The Way Forward, and another lady, we had a bath in the creek together, who works as a teacher with kids, but she does her own kind of individual teaching with kids because she just sees how the education system cripples children and cripples their thinking, and their suicide rates and all that stuff breeds competition into kids, and yeah, just isn't good for this generation of children at all, or any kids, I suppose. But maybe in the past it was easier to train people, but I think nature's bringing out a bigger diversity of neurological diversity to try and counter what's happening at a fundamental level to the human race. And that's my opinion on it. But I just thought, just let go of everything, like I've just got to stop worrying and stressing and thinking about the future and all that, and just let things flow a bit more, let things fall into place, and trust more in the divine, because it's been quite a few miracles. This whole house really is a miracle. And it's being created, and I feel like this is Freya's home, and I'm feeling now like, well, she can actually live here, like, not totally independently, but I've set up something that's enough that, obviously I can go away, like, and have my own time and do what I need to do. So basically, like, why I can go and work and do what I need to do. If I need to go and work in Australia, if I, want to live my own life. I feel like maybe it's okay, I can do that now. I think I just don't know what's going to happen with NDIS and her funding it all, but I guess she can stay here. She's happy here. She's got her school here. I just want to work on furthering that and building that into being able to be a post-school program and making an actual village, and weird reflection. And yeah, I'm feeling at the moment towards Lombok, because there's quite a lot of bamboo at the grassroots level stuff going on there with planting bamboo, treatment of bamboo. There's in Sembulan, they're starting a community scale treatment facility there and using natural what do you call it? You know, non-toxic stuff. So yeah, and apart from that, it's very beautiful, that whole area, Lombok. Like, I mean, you know, it's kind of, well, it's got an international airport now too, which is a double bonus. And there's room for, I think, like mixing with the, you know, local community, or integrating with the local community in farming and community activities, and training at the local level. Like that, the lady I met who's the author, she's starting a training centre in a area of India where there's they're just starting to educate kids, and yeah, in terms of teaching them English, which, yeah, I still don't know if I agree with that whole thing. It's good to learn English, like, but still, that's not the only skill. Like, I don't think it's right to be just training people to be like this servant culture to white or the, you know, Western world. I'd rather see the local economies and cultures valued, and the skills valued, and the fair trade given for what, you know, what you may not realise, but the amount of work that goes into the products that we're used to buying so cheap from Asia. Like, if they were actually given a fair trade price for their products, like, you know, we wouldn't live in the world like we do now. We've got a lot of stuff, I think, because of other people have less because of these exchange rates, the currency exchange rates. It seems like colonialism just goes in and devalues a country's whole economy, so that makes them basically economic slaves to the dominant culture. And, you know, even when they get independence, like, why doesn't anyone ask, well, let's make our own currency system and fuck off you guys and decide for ourselves what our products and stuff is valued at. But I think there's, like, you know, 3 or 4 generations now that are just, you know, basically stuck in the mindset. They haven't really thought about what would be a fair trade. I think the Balinese are pretty cluey. Like, they set the prices that they have the local price, which is, you know, the realistic price in their culture, and for the amount of work it takes to do something, create something. And then they have the boule price, which I think is fair enough. I mean, like, we get 10 times more money than what, say, $10 in Australia is. It's like having $100 here in terms of what you can buy. And I don't think that's a very fair financial system. I think it should be more equal. So, you know, they still don't charge what we would pay in our own country, and they've got quite big families. So, and I think not everyone should work in the family. Like, our culture's really a bit fucked up with the way that women, you know, the whole family works. Like, there's no one at home. Everyone's working. The home is like a bit empty, you know. And so yeah, anyway, you know, like, even they're charging 5 times more than what's the local rate. It's still half price for us coming from Australia. And there are things that are more expensive here because it's harder for them to buy it or access it from somewhere. What do you call it? Like import it kind of thing. There's government taxes and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so what I've been thinking about Bamboo Creative is because I'm talking with Sheriff, who's the CEO of a disability organisation in Australia. He wants to support what we're doing here to include also other people with disabilities, maybe have supported accommodation here or nearby, or coordinate that for people that want to come here who have a disability that want to come here on whether it's holiday or whether they want to start a small business. Like for me, I'm really interested in helping form partnerships with local villages, areas where they can do like whether it's craft or producing something, basically help that process. And then someone with a disability could be coming here and that's part of their work, you know, like we could help support them in terms of their care needs or coordinating what they need, but in terms of them wanting to have a small business, import, export, like you can be on a multiple entry visa and stay up to 60 days. So in the long term, if we had a village here, then those people would also have somewhere to stay. Part of what I'm doing is like helping to set up partnerships with local families, not partnerships, but you know, like help them make like a homestay accommodation, and then look into training or that sort of stuff, carer training. It's wobbling. House is wobbling again. And so we help them to build onto their house like a little homestay or an extra room where someone with a disability or a family could stay, like how when I was living in Philippines I stayed with local families there, and one family I helped like build like a fish pond area to do fish farming. Well, it was like they had one there, something happened to it, so I helped them rebuild part of it in the gate area so they could farm fish again. So that's helping give them an income. Another family I built like an extra room onto, which was where I stayed, and then they could rent that out after I left or have like an office or studio there. And then the third family, that's what made me come to Bali, was I wanted to build like a little homestay place there. It's like beautiful out in the forest, near like a waterfall area, near the beach area, but yeah, no electricity, no nothing. And for me, I love that kind of thing. And but there was termites everywhere. That's what brought me to Bali, to learn the termite, trying to figure out how to treat it naturally, which, you know, it's been a total failure, but I'm still getting there. Still learning about it. And that was so that we could come there and stay there for 1 or 2 months, and then when we go away, they have a way to earn income, because their like a daily salary is about the same as what you pay to stay in a backpackers or a simple accommodation place. So it's like, well, why not have people just come and stay there so that they can stay in their home and do their family life thing and not have to go out and work in like the city and that sort of stuff, so for crap wages, and then have to pay half of it on rent. Like, yeah, a lot of people in developing countries just, you know, selling their land, and then, you know, developers come in, and then, you know, where do they go? They end up the urban poor, like. So yeah, I don't like to see that sort of thing. It sucks, and then that's the biggest threat to sustainability. It's like, because once you don't have a house, you don't have a home, then you've got to pay rent, and then you're kind of like at the mercy of whatever you can afford. So people do the cheap way of doing things, and then, you know, it's just, for me, it's not sustainable. Yeah, I've obviously said what I needed to say. I'm gonna killing borers. And yeah, I guess the last thing would just be about Bamboo Creative, how because I've got Bamboo Creative and then Friends of Freyr. So I feel like Bamboo Creative is more is the local organisation that will become a PT, which is how we'll kind of sell accommodation and support packages and stuff through at the local level here. And so people can contribute to that financially, but also it's about building our team because basically I can't do it by myself, and I know there's other people like me who have the skills and knowledge to be able to contribute, or whatever various areas is their expertise, and to make it a team that then basically you contribute in that way. So maybe instead of putting up $20,000, you putting forward your skills and making a commitment to contributing to an area of development, or what is needed in the formation of what we're doing. And then I think the next stage is to form the ISN with Friends of Freyr being like organisation that'll get set up in Australia, where people can be like a not-for-profit and a trading cooperative, or not trading cooperative but still not-for-profit, and then look into setting that up here and like setting up a branch of that here. And so that would be like a ISN, but run with an international board. So there'd be the staff from Matahari Turbot Foundation, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure that that's the organisation we're going to work with. Or that would just be our partner organisation here. But Friends of Freyr is kind of like for the activity centre, the activity program with kids with disabilities, and where we'll call in like volunteers and also do the training for whether it's teacher aides or carers, like for special needs, to enhance skills for staff and people working with kids with special needs, and making that part of the village, because in India, like the ashram I stayed in, it was like, oh my god, this is like what I've been imagining. Like, there's people that are just 100% volunteers, but they have a place there, they live there, they might be living there their whole life, but they are a volunteer, they're not paying to be there. But if you want to do a program or something, one of the things they have running, you pay for that. But as a volunteer, you do your daily work hours and you get fed, you get accommodation, everything like that. And then there's people that are paying like retreat prices to come there, and then they have staff, I think, that are also volunteers. I don't know, they have like I guess it's like a sliding scale thing. But yeah, just the way it was operating, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And the only thing it's missing is I just kept having this vision of like a big like play area, like kind of like a circus sort of acro area, where doing like games and play therapy, all that sort of stuff with kids with special needs. And I actually felt like it needed that. Like, people can just get too serious, like oh, I'm shiny, whatever, and then you just, I don't know, sometimes we just get too, it's like we're doing yoga and stuff, but then we get too obsessed and too attached to our identity and all that about that. And that's, for me, that's the gift of special needs kids, is they just we just have to drop all that and be there with them. And they're actually, for me, like the best way to ever be present and real. So it's been really good for me, that whole experience. And I really needed those. It was 10 days or 12 days I was away, and 2 days I was 2 days I was just in the airport, and I stopped smoking, which I'm so happy about. Like, it was kind of good being 2 days in Singapore airport, Singapore or Kuala Lumpur, I don't know, between those two. And every time I thought about having a cigarette, I just thought about those disgusting smoking rooms they have in the airport. I'd just be like, forget it. And yeah, and then when I woke up in India, I just felt like I was in a totally different world. When I stayed at couch surfing family's place, and for 3 or 4 days, 3 nights, something like that. And yeah, I just felt like I was in a different world. Like, I just never thought about, I don't think I even thought about having a cigarette, or just, yeah. Anyway. So I'm really happy, and I hope I don't start smoking again here. It's not really funny. I don't want to smoke again. So yeah, I don't know. Feel brighter and lighter and calmer. But yeah, I just noticed, like, sort of like I start to experience that feeling of worry and stress, thinking about what's going to happen. And I think Freyr can be here. I think maybe if they don't, I don't know if they're going to give me the carer payment, but I don't know if she's going to get funding from Australia, because yeah, I don't know if I want, I'm just, yeah, if I go back to Australia with her, then I'm going to be stuck again, like being her carer. And I don't want to just go back there just to live, and like, live for what? Do what? Like, what am I there for? What is she there for? Like, just to pay money to these fuck faces that are charging shitloads just like to look after kids with disabilities. It's like, I'm not going to talk about it. It just upsets me so much. It's all fucking wrong. Fucking wrong. I think my work is here, but I do want to be able to go back to Australia. It was really nice last time, being able to see Lana and Karen and sort of see friends and stuff, spend time like with that, yeah, feeling, I don't know, I felt very comforted, because yeah, sometimes here I feel like very alone, you know. Support me. But yeah, it's more that companionship and people that understand you. So friends, and I guess, yeah, I mean, I have Indonesian friends and stuff, but they don't understand life from where I've come from, like from my perspective. I find a lot of Asian people, like all people here, they, you know, you're bule, so you're rich because you have more money, and but they don't really get where I come from. I don't think. But on the other hand, they care about Freyr, and that's the main thing. That's the important thing, is they understand what I go through on a daily basis with her, I think, and they care about her. And that's what's nice about here, is there's people around. They're not being paid to look after her. I mean, Agus is, but they're here as part of her environment, and I'm usually paying like the working wages for the building, and that's why I'm setting up all this Bamboo Creative stuff, is so that they have sustainable business that's here, that's based here, and that's giving them money so they can be here and be around Freyr. And for me, it feels safe having them here, and then having visitors come, and Freyr gets interaction, she'll have other kids coming too, so that builds a community environment for her, and that's really what I want for her. I just don't want to be living in isolation in Australia like I was before with her, and I was going crazy and it wasn't good for her, you know, like it got to the stage where I was like bawling my eyes out on the floor of my bus because I just didn't know what to do with her anymore. Like I was at my wit's end, like I needed to go away and have a break, and I couldn't get access to that, and for a carer to come, like I was ringing bloody disability services and they basically just said there's nothing available, and it's like, what the fuck, like, anyway, my time's about to run out, my memory's about to run out of my phone. I think I've got a minute, less than a minute. So yeah, I just want to see that she's in an environment where she has a good quality of life, where she has friends, where she has a good mum, where I'm not totally stressed out and doing my nana, where I can be calm and good for her. So that's the most important thing. And so yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with NDIS right now. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but if it doesn't, I think she's just going to get a disability payment and or the carer payment, and I can just keep going here the way we are, and maybe she'll be on the independent rate